No, I do not want to start AI companion. Okay, so we are recording. Welcome to Planning a Great Year with AAC. I am Cassie Hartstrong, speech language pathologist by training, and then have gone after assistive technology specialty and augmentative and alternative communication specialty, and lately puppeteering. I work for students and serve students and teams all across Butte County, and I teach at Chico State and have some far northern clients as well. So glad to see you all here. Let's continue moving along. So what we plan to do today to kind of create a solid plan for AAC this school year is we're going to talk about word of the week, AAC access, how to model in the most convenient way, um, really how to enlist our paraprofessionals, remembering to teach and not to test, and to establish charging and backup routines. And I imagine even if you grab onto two of these things, you will have a much stronger path for your AAC users. So first of all, let's just chat about it. Either in the chat or you can unmute yourself and talk to the group. What have been the best strategies and the biggest barriers to successful AAC use in your experience? So some of the things that I'm seeing barriers, um, that modeling everywhere. People are used to our mouth words, people being curious and remaining open to it, having access all the time, having people on the same page, staff already overwhelmed with all the stuff they have to do. Ain't that the truth? Not being familiar with how to troubleshoot it or change the settings. Also, too, just because I have like kind of like a choose your own pathway. When I originally developed this presentation, I expected it to be mostly speech pathologists who came, but there's actually a huge amount of teachers. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't discluding anyone by giving information that wasn't already known. So just rating yourself in the chat about your AAC knowledge and background. And it is okay. Like I really genuinely want to know, that way I can take us in the right direction. One being like, I don't really have much experience with AAC at all. And five being, I am a master in the subject. Where do you feel like you fall? Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to know. There's enough ones and twos that I'm going to push my stop sign over here and hop us over to just some background information about AAC to make sure we all are on the same page before we dive any deeper. So first of all, AAC stands for Augmentative and Alternative Communication, and it means any way we communicate outside of our mouth words. The augmentative part comes from enhancing or improving, and the alternative part comes from using a different means altogether. So, for an individual who might have really unclear speech, but they have a lot of like words on their mouth, um, this would be an augmentative tool to make their communication better. And some individuals can't access their speaking mechanism at all. And for them, AAC is an alternative method. There's a whole spectrum of AAC systems from no tech to high tech, and all of them have value and purpose. And just like we talk with our mouths and text and send emails and use gestures, our AAC users may use any one of these throughout the day. But I would hate to see anyone stuck with just a light tech system or just a mid tech system because they're really, really limiting and can actually be more frustrating than useful for everyone. Who uses AAC? Literally anyone and everyone, including us. We use communication that isn't mouth words, such as our text messages. I have a post-it note right in front of my face that says, record it. Um, we've got all sorts of different kinds of AAC that we use throughout the day. And there are lots of other types of individuals who use it either as a temporary, supplemental, or primary communication method. Temporary, for example, if you were to break your ankle, you would temporarily need like a crutch to make sure you didn't damage that ankle anymore. But as soon as you can walk okay, you're not going to carry that crutch around. It was just a temporary tool. Similarly, like I had oral surgery a couple of years ago, and for 2 weeks, I couldn't eat any solid foods, and I couldn't talk. And I didn't take off any time of work. I just used AAC to do speech therapy and run IEP meetings. So it was a temporary tool for me. A supplemental tool for individuals. I have autism. I'm an autistic human, and sometimes, especially when I'm really overstimulated, I mouth words don't work for me. I will sign. And for that purpose, it's a supplemental tool for me because I have mouth words, but I need to supplement those mouth words with a different method when my mouth words aren't working. And other individuals need it all the time, and it is their primary method. There are lots of different disabilities that are connected to using AAC as a primary method, such as autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, selective mutism. And then also as adults, we may see people in our adulthood who, including ourselves, who may experience stroke, Parkinson's, ALS, or MS. And AAC can be a tremendous help. And I also just want to empower you that if you know anyone or in the future come to know someone with any of these conditions and they can't communicate and nobody has set them up with AAC, you can encourage them and their team and their family to pursue that so they're just not locked in and stuck without a method. Just getting on the same page, you'll hear me use the terms non-speaking or minimally speaking instead of nonverbal. All of these came from the adult disabled community who has really had their voices amplified because of social media. So you'll hear me say non-speaking or minimally speaking. I use the term mouth words, which are equal to oral language, speech, or verbalizations. You'll hear me use students with high support needs, like to be successful at school, they need speech therapy, occupational therapy, behavior support, specialized academic instruction. Somebody with high support needs versus somebody with low support needs who is in general education for most of the day, but may come to the special ed room at lunchtime to get their like G tube hooked up. Um, You'll hear me use person first and identity first language. Person with autism, autistic person. The adult disabled community says it's not taboo to say autistic person or disabled person. It's best to just ask the person in front of you what they prefer. And even our students who are non speaking and have physical disabilities have ways to indicate their preferences. You just have to really pay attention to how that individual is communicating. It might be very subtle. So you can just ask them, if I, am referring to you, do you prefer disabled student or student with a disability? And you can give them some options. You'll hear me use the word disabled or disability. Um, the able bodied uh, cohort has really taken to disability as like a no bad word, and we really dress it up. We're like special needs, differently abled, magic powers, whatever it is. It's okay to like use the word disability. It's not a bad word. And then lastly, on this AAC 101 and getting on the same page, just some myths that we want to bust. One, the first myth, and this is not just from the internet, this is from my like very regular life of being a specialist in this area. People hold on to these ideas very tightly. So I'm going to try to break them up a little bit. First of all, it's a myth that AAC is only for children with no verbal speech. Lots of people are like, oh, they talk all the time. They don't need AAC. Well, my question is like, can you understand what they're saying? Because if they're using delayed echolalia or gestalts and they're talking all the time, but you have no idea what they're saying, that's not adequate. We need another tool in place. Um, if they are saying a lot of things with their mouth words, but it's really unintelligible because they have a lot of articulation errors, like that's not adequate. Also, like if they're able to communicate that they need to go to the bathroom and that they need a snack, and that's the reaches of their communication, that is not adequate. They need another tool to help them. Another myth, it's a myth that AAC means we're giving up on verbal speech. Absolutely not. If anything, AAC can help verbal speech develop further. And the brain reads AAC and communication on the same path. So we're developing those neural networks with AAC or ASL or with verbal language, German, Spanish, English. It's all nurturing that same path in the brain. So if we're offering that AAC support, it's actually more likely that that individual will end up talking than if they didn't have access to that. It's a myth that you have to start with low tech before you can try high tech. Um, Lots of folks really strongly believe that if they're gonna, before they can be offered a high tech, expensive, fragile device, they need to demonstrate that they're successful using a piece of paper to communicate. And I think that if we apply this to ourselves, we would be like, no, that's absolutely not the case. You know, if somebody told you you need to be able to write everything down before you use the internet. Or we're not going to give you access to a whole bunch of words until you've demonstrated the ability to be able to produce a whole bunch of words. Could you imagine if we had a neurotypical baby and we're like, this baby doesn't talk at all? So let's not talk to them because we don't want to overwhelm them with words. No, we have to talk to them. We have to offer them lots of language and vocabulary in order for them to reach in that direction. Another myth, some students are too low or don't have the prerequisite skills to use AAC. There is no prereqs for AAC. We can expose to that communication method as early, just like we expose spoken language to children as soon as they're coming, before they come out of the womb, we're exposing them to language. Similarly, it's okay to expose them to AAC right away and give them an opportunity to communicate with visual supports. Now, granted, does that mean the moment that we hand it to them, we're expecting them to be like champions of it? No, absolutely not. But we don't need to have them demonstrate AAC skills before we'll offer them AAC. Also, too low is a myth. It's very hard to determine somebody's cognitive skills if they cannot talk to you. Um, so you can't really tell what they understand um, or what they're able to communicate and are thinking when they can't talk to you. There are a lot of non speaking students who um, have a really wonderful sense of humor and demonstrate their cognitive abilities through their sense of humor or know how to push everybody's buttons in the room. That's a cognitive skill. Or know how to find the thing no matter where you've put the thing or how many locks you've put around the thing. That's another cognitive skill that's not doesn't come up on a test. And the last myth, non-speaking students will be successful with AAC without direct instruction. We did a big report. They've been recommended to have this thing. They can't talk now. The specialist said they need this thing, so we're going to give them this thing, and now they can talk. No, they have to be taught very explicitly how to use the device before they're able to actually take off with it. So I just wanted to get us all on the same page because of, there is quite a few numbers of um, folks in the group here that rated themselves as ones or twos. Okay, I'm going to push go, and we're going to go back. Just
I
to
like
take
that. That's what they do.
just to take this opportunity in the chat about that little AAC 101. What is AAC? Who uses it? That there's a spectrum of devices. That there's a lot of yucky myths about AAC. What's something, and you can put it in the chat, what's something brand new to you, new information?
You wouldn't put the mitts back up, would you, Cassie?
Hmm?
You wouldn't put the mitts back up, would you?
Yeah, I will. Mhm. There you go. So far, we have in the chat that um, some new concepts is around that there's nobody too low and that there is no hierarchy. You don't have to start, you don't have to be successful with paper before you can access the high-tech devices. While other people are thinking and writing, how many of you have or have seen children under the age of 3 who can use YouTube? How many of you may know maybe a non-speaking or minimally speaking student who is very, very young and can use YouTube? Yeah. Um, yeah, a lot of those kids, some people are like, oh, they don't have the skills to do that. Like, give them that device. Let's see what they can do. Okay, I'm going to continue us. Anna, did you have a question or were you just saying you were raising your hand in agreement? Oh, good. Okay, I see it. Okay, I'm going to go back to my word of the week. So now that we're on the same page, let's get into what we can do as educators to really prep for our year. And I have done my darndest to try to give you all of the tools. If you want to choose one thing from this presentation to walk away with, great. If you want to take the whole basket, wonderful. You don't have to take all of this, but if you like one idea and run with it, and then maybe next year you'll put something new in your pocket and run with it, that's excellent. You don't have to do all of these things to make yourself successful, but having the ideas there can be very helpful. So, word of the week. With AAC, word of the week is for the kids, right? Word of the week is really for the adults. Um, and I'll show you. So word of the week is when we have like one word on the AAC device that we're really focusing on for that week. And it is really good for the kids because if we, the adults, are focusing on a word a week, they're getting some rich exposure to that vocabulary and that language. But really, word of the week helps with us as the educators take the huge, world of robust AAC and put it down to just like we're just working on one word. Like let all of that other stress of knowing the whole device and being a master of the whole device and like let's just focus on one word. So that's why word of the week is really for the adults, is because it can break things down and let us be successful with less. So I have created with my colleague Becky, who is across the room from me right now, we've created this Word of the Week program over this last summer. I'm going to click on it and it should take me to a website. Oh, well, I'm going to escape and we're just going to go there because my link's not working. So I'm just typing in Butte Selpa AAC, and I'm going to put this link in the chat for everyone as we're going to be referencing our website a lot. On our website, we have created this Elliott AAC show for kids that has a word of the week. I'm just gonna, before we tap here, because we're gonna watch it together, down at the bottom here, I just want you to see, which we'll come back to, there's a calendar for the whole school year. So if you're the type of person who likes to know what's coming and do other activities or preparation, it's there for you. If you're the type of person who likes to take really in-depth data, there are data sheets that are organized by app here as well. So every Monday, there will be a new word of the week right here. You can definitely find it on this website. You could also just search for Elliott's Word of the Week, and it will pop up there for you as well. So we're going to watch it for a second, and when I start it, give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. So the first 40 seconds are just an intro, and it's a great opportunity. If those AAC systems aren't out yet, that's when you get them out. For teachers, I'm sending these out to the teachers. Use it during your morning meeting. If you're an SLP, if you're doing push-in, you could share it with a little group. If you're doing pull-out, you're welcome to share it during pull-out. I'm also sending this out to all of the parents every week too, all of my AAC using users' parents. So like everybody's getting the same word and the same stuff, which is great. So I'm gonna skip it from the first 40 seconds because it's just intro song.
Hi, I'm Elliot.
And I'm Miss Becky. Welcome to Elliott's AAC. What are we doing today, Elliot?
Word of the week.
Oh, awesome!
So we really tried to design it so kids would think it's cute, and we've seen the kids, they do think it's cute. Students think it's cute. Even some of the junior high and high schoolers think it's cute. And while the kids are engaged in learning, the paras and the teachers and the staff are learning too, which is why we made it like we did. So after we tell you what the word of the week is, it's not. Then we tell you where it's located on each of the devices. Now, granted, we took a snapshot, the most common devices, the most common layouts. Here it is on TouchChat Word Power 60. If you can't find it, use the search feature or ask your SLP for help. So if you've got a different layout and you're struggling to find it, there's still a way. Don't give up. Um, there's Prolo to go and where to find it. And all of the videos are just like this. On TD Snap, this is how you find it. On LAMP Words for Life, this is how you find it. We give a very nice pause to give you an opportunity to make sure all of your students have been able to locate their word, or you've been able to model where that word lives. And then we're going to watch
Yeah.
again.
Let's show them how to do it.
That's a great idea. Let's show them how to use the word of the week throughout the day.
That's not the barn door.
Not.
Not that animal. Try again.
So we model in 4 different activities how we as the adults can help our students learn about it by saying a whole phrase with our mouths and modeling at least one word on the AAC device. So we do that for the farm and for a little snack. And these videos, they make me laugh. They're so cute. The cars, and a sensory bin activity. And so we designed these all for everyone. This is Becky, the other AAC specialist, and I am underneath the table as the puppet. And Becky's 20, Zoe's 22, Zoe's 25. Zoe, Becky's 25-year-old, made that puppet for us. So it's been a fun adventure. So that will be there. So we've tried to like make word of the week a fun activity that this can be the base of. And if this is all you do for word of the week is share that, that's fine. We're getting that modeling for the kids and also that modeling for the adults in the room as well. If you want to go deeper and that's something that you have the drive or capacity for, you've got the whole word of the week calendar here so you can see where we're headed, and also some data sheets so you can collect data with it. That didn't take me to the place I wanted it to go, but I will make sure it does. So all of those are there as well. Let me see, I have the data sheet here for professionals, goal writing and data collection, word of the week data sheets. Oh, it took me the same place. Well, I've got a broken link that I need to repair. I'm going to take a little note of that so I can repair it right after this. Okay, headed back over to our slideshow. Okay. So there's that calendar link. Right now, we just did not. We're headed into want next week, and then we'll just keep moving on. It's okay. You don't have to, if your school started at a different time and you started here, you don't have to go back to you can just keep up with the rest of us, because all of these words are equal in value. I did put them in a hierarchy of like developmental order. These are the top 40 most important core words for in AAC users to learn. Any questions or comments about AAC word of the week? I encourage you If you're going to use it to share it during your morning meetings or during your intervention sessions, during whole group, just a way to interact with your AAC users and educate the staff at the same time.
Cassie, I just want to say that I've been starting to use it in circle time. No, I'm sorry. I've been starting to post it and use the word. I've been with the children, and I thought knots just does not seem like it would come up, but by golly, it did. Especially since the preschoolers definitely told me what they did not want to do. It was so funny. It's like, oh yeah, everything's gonna come up eventually. You guys did
Yeah.
great. I love it.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to move on to AAC access, planning for the year. If we're going to be successful, those students have to have access. This is my hard clap slide where I'm stomping my feet. So just to remind all of us, AAC is not an activity that we do like at a center or that when the speech therapist comes in the room. It's not a privilege or reward for being on task because it's not like an iPad toy. Um, and it's also not a choice for us to make. We don't get to choose if our AAC users have access to the device. If they choose that they don't want to use it, that's fine. There are lots of mouth word using kids who decide not to participate with their mouth words or participate appropriately with their mouth words all the time. So if it has been determined through their IEP that AAC is a necessity for them, they need to have access to their device at all times. I like to make the comparison of like individuals with mobility issues have the right to their wheelchair or their mobility tool. Individuals with vision issues have a right to glasses. Individuals with hearing concerns have a right to hearing aids. Individuals who are not toilet trained have a right to diapers, and individuals with communication barriers have a right to their communication device. Um, the wonderful graphic example I love to give is that if you had, because a lot of times I hear like, oh, well, they're the AA, we put the AAC away because the student was being disruptive or annoying or, blah with the device. So we put it away. Could you imagine if you had a wheelchair user who, like, in their wheelchair kept wandering around the room and bumping into tables and doing little burnouts and like even wheelies? Like, you would never be like, you're being annoying with your mobility tool, and take them out of it and put them on the floor and put their wheelchair in the closet. We would never do that because we see the wheelchair as an extension of that human being in order for them to access their life. Similarly, an AAC system is an extension of that human being so they can access their life. So this is a printable that I have for you that if you click on it, I'm going to share this whole slideshow with you right now before I forget. I'll also email it to everybody who's here today. Share, copy, chat. Done. So this is a little sign that you could print out and like put as a visual reminder for yourself, for your staff, to have, so like have that device out and ready. Set you up for some success. I also have a place for you to print light tech backups. I'm going to show you what this means. Back to our website in the resources by app. I'm still sharing with you guys. Can you still see what I'm sharing with you? Okay, good. Sometimes I stop my share and then I'm very sad. So thinking of Touch Chat with Word Power, a pretty popular AAC app. If I click on it here in the resources by app, I've got troubleshooting videos. If you prefer learning by reading, I've got step-by-step, like in order to edit, touch the edit button. Next, do this. Next, do this. And then there's also some home pages here. So say you have a student who their battery is dead. they still need access to some sort of AAC. Look at their homepage, go to it on the Google Drive available through that link and print it out so you can still have a way to model and use their homepage. Anna says that you don't see the screen share. I'm going to stop sharing and then I'm going to share again. Can you see it now? Okay, good. Okay, excellent. Okay, so you can, again, from the actual slides that I shared, you can click here and it will take you there. Also, if you navigate just to our website, it's over here on resources by app, where you can print it out and have that light tech printable still available, still accessible for individuals, even if they don't have their device with them, or if you're going, to the water park, you could have a light tech backup. Also, part of access is when you do see those devices out, if you're a teacher, if your paras are automatically being like, welcome to class, Jacob, like, let's get your AAC out. Celebrate them, thank them, encourage them. If you remember to get their AACs out or help that remind the students to get their AAC out, like, thank yourself. Give yourself a star. Celebrate yourself. If your speech therapist comes in the room and all of the devices are out, give yourself a pat on the back and celebrate it. Also, I want to empower you to advocate. Advocate for them. If you are a para and nobody has cued the students to get their devices out, as a para, you can say, hey, other para, will you help me coach the students to go get their devices out? If you're a teacher, you can say, hey, my paras, I need you to help those two get their devices out. I need you to help those two get their devices out. Make sure you're advocating. If you're a speech pathologist or a service provider and you're walking into that room and there are no devices out, don't just like put a little mark down in your heart that like they don't have them out today. Like like, hey, all of these devices need to be out. The students have a right to access their AAC. Like, I'm empowering you and giving permission for you to advocate for the students in that way. What came up for you thinking about access? That they have a right to access it all day. They can use light tech backups to access if their high tech one is not available or maybe is being used as a weapon. And also that we can celebrate and advocate that AAC access. So if you do have other students who are playing with it, or even the AAC user is playing with it, there's a few things that to maybe consider. One is the device in guided access. Are they locked into the app that they're supposed to be using for communication, or are they bouncing around the whole thing to, look up things on YouTube and get on the internet and all of the other things? Because if they're not in guided access, they should be. They should just have access to their AAC device. I'm gonna try to get out of here really quick. Exit full screen mode. I'm gonna go back one, but still exit full screen mode. Oh, and I did the wrong one. Exit full screen mode. I just want to show you on our AAC resource page, and I'll put this link in. I think there's lots of different places that this lives, but I'm just going to show you one. Touch chat with word power, troubleshooting videos, guided access. It'll take a moment for this to load, but I'm going to just share this video with you. That's how to put the device into guided access. It's an accessibility feature of the iPad to lock the AAC app into place. With some of the districts, they're starting to set up the AAC system in what's called kiosk mode, which like literally if it bricks and dies when you turn it on, it's right in the app. Like there's literally nowhere they can go and nothing that they can do. There can be 1,000 other apps on the device, but kiosk mode, like this is the only thing available. And it was originally developed for businesses who have their devices out like at a kiosk, and they don't want people walking by and like, searching the internet or like paying their bills. So I just wanted to show you that there is that resource there. Also, so just coming back here. So one thing about that, if the other students are playing with it, can they get somewhere else? And the other piece of that is if students are just on their AAC app, but they're just playing with it by touching different words and tapping different words and typing different messages out, that's actually a stage of AAC language development and is totally okay. Like that is okay. If they're being disruptive or annoying with that feature, you can coach them just like you would any other mouth word user and say things, like, hey, we're not talking about the movie Halloween right now. We're doing morning meeting. So like, let's switch subjects, or, we're in the library and you're yelling or talking too much. Like, let's look at the volume button and turn it down. So to teach them that strategy. Now, granted, they might not heed your advice. Similarly, a speaking child may not heed your device or advice. They might continue talking about the Halloween movie during morning meeting or chattering it up in a loud voice during library. We still don't like cover those kids' mouths and like shuffle them away. We have to deal with them as they are with their assistive tool. I'm looking into the chat. Grace had said, oh yeah. In Grace's classrooms, there's usually a classroom iPad with a few different AAC apps that any of the other students can either use or explore. And if one of the kids like runs by and takes the AAC user's device, they can swap it out with the classroom AAC device. So everybody has what they're looking for. Okay, now we're going to talk about modeling using this little approach that we've been presenting over the last, I don't know, 6 months. So first of all, let's talk about what modeling is. Modeling is using AAC to teach AAC. So preparing for a good year, you gotta know how to model. And I'm gonna make it the easiest as it possibly can be for you. So why is it so important? And like the number one thing is because first comes receptive skills. We have to be exposed to language enough before we can ever use it ourselves. Like think about you right now trying to learn French or Spanish or Japanese. You don't just hear it once, like, out of a tape recorder. Is that even a thing? You don't hear it once like an audio recording and then say like, I know how to use this language. That's not what we do. We have to actually hear the word used in the context that it is appropriate for enough times before we will even try to use it or even know one word from another. So we have to give our AAC users exposure to their own words enough times before we can ever expect them to use it themselves. One of my big screams for modeling this year is like, if your students never all year ever say any words on their device, I don't care as long as we are exposing them to those words. I don't care. I hope that they do, but like I'm not hung up on it at all. I think about language like we're building a castle. If you think of like the generations before who would actually like build castles, we would have like a person put down the first bricks and then like grow up and die, and their son would carry on that job of like putting more bricks on the castle and then grow up and die, and generations it would take before anybody could ascend the stairs of that castle, because it takes years and years and years to develop that structure. Similarly, with communication and language, it can take years and years and years of putting brick and mortar up before we're able to like walk up the stairs. If we think of our typically developing speaking children, by age 1, they've got maybe like a couple of very important words to them that they still don't say very clearly, but like mama and dada and like milk. By age 2, that kiddo may be using a few 2-word utterances, but those utterances still don't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. And then by age 3, they're starting to use longer phrases that still don't make sense to a lot of people. It took 3 years of constant language exposure for a typically developing, brain like a sponge human being to learn that language. When we're talking about a uh, neurodiverse brain who may be 15 years old or however old they are and have less plasticity, and the only person or people exposing them to language in their method of communication is like their teacher and a speech therapist, they might take even longer before they are ready to use that language. So we are taking that pressure off of them and taking it onto us. We are going to lay those bricks and not make it about a performance. The picture on this slide is to remind me of my neurotypical example. If we were driving in our car with a neurotypical toddler in the back seat, and we drive past this scene of cows and the barn, and we point out the window and we're like, oh, look at the cows, look at those cows. That kid doesn't know if you're talking about the cows or the trees or the barn or the sky or the clouds or the grass until they have heard that word cow or cows paired in like real rich context in real life or with really nice pictures. um, Enough times before they're like, oh, I understand what that means, and are able to use it themselves. We would never in that car point out the window and be like, wow, look at the cow. Say cow. Say it. Say it right now. Say. And then finally, when they say, we're like, oh my gosh, you said cow. And we're so excited about it. We need to take the same approach to our AAC users. Expose, expose, expose. And when they finally do it, we're stoked. Lydia, you have a question?
I totally agree, and I'm learning so much about this in the last couple of years. But I think what worries me is that the goals. Like we have goals that they're supposed to produce, they're supposed to touch, they're supposed to do things, and yet we're not supposed to make them. So I don't know. You'll probably go over that at some point.
I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that right now. Sorry, Becky and I have some feedback. There we go. Okay. So one of the things is when Becky and I usually help write goals, we write them in a way that like is trying to meet that student right where they are. So like in speech therapy, when they get all of those like so thinking of an emergent communicator who's not using any words yet or very few words, Becky and I might recommend a goal that's like when given regular aided language stimulation, when they're like regularly using modeling in front of you or in front of the student, and pointer cues and verbal encouragement, when they're given all of those things, the kiddo will touch the word. And that is like really that is the goal. But again, for me and for the context of this, if that kiddo doesn't meet that goal, I'm not giving up on them. I don't think that they have not learned anything. I would rather have us focus on teaching than just testing. And I think that we forget about that so much. In fact, I made a slide about it in a minute. so, uh, um, modeling is, again, using AAC to teach AAC. Um, how do we model? And again, I'm going to make this as easy as possible, but we got to get some concepts in your heads first. We're going to use our mouth words and our AAC words to show them how to communicate, to teach them how to communicate. And we want to try to do it from their perspective. So if you've got a kid who just put down an ice cream cone, and I'm going to get my device out really quick. If you've got a kid who just put down an ice cream cone and they have ice cream all over their face, you do not need to ask them if they liked it. It's quite obvious that they liked it. It's kind of like when the server comes over to you and you have cleaned your plate and they're like, was that good? Like, obviously it was good. Um, Instead of asking them a question, you can give them words to say by saying, oh, I see that you liked that. You liked that. Instead of asking them, what'd you do at recess? When most all of our AAC users are like, we got eyes on them on recess. Like, we know what they did at recess. So instead of asking them, what'd you do at recess? You can give them words to tell you about it. Oh, I see that at recess. You played at recess. Played. Instead of asking them like they had a choice, are you ready for lunch? You can give them words to communicate that. Okay, it's time to go to lunch. If you see your student pushing their food away from them, you don't have to ask them if they're done. You they're clearly done. You can offer them and give them language to communicate that in a more practical way next time. I see that I'm finished with lunch. Uh, if you've got kids fighting over some object, you can, instead of saying share, like, could you imagine if you were told to share everything? Uh, I mean, we kind of do, but you can teach them how to advocate themselves and say, hey, that's mine. That's mine. And give them language to communicate it in a more functional way rather than grabbing and pulling. If you've got a kid that's under the table, instead of saying, why are you under the table? If we think about it, like if it's a non-speaking kid, asking them why they're under the table is just dysregulating them more. Instead, we can get down on our knees and say, oh, I do not want to work. I don't want to work. Instead of telling someone who's like reaching at you, trying to get the popcorn out of your hands, saying, don't grab that, you can give them language that can replace eventually that grabbing. I want more. And instead of saying, or it's time to go to the bathroom, you can give them that language by saying, let's go to the bathroom. So that's how we model, just a snapshot. We use our mouth words and our AAC words to give them and show them how to communicate. To be a good modeler, we want to model without expectations, meaning it's our job to model. They don't need to perform. If they do perform, celebrate them, but we don't need them to perform. Lean into the home page. Lots of people are like, I don't know where anything lives on the device. It's super scary. Don't worry about all of the words in the device. All those words on the deeper levels are very specific words like peppercini and Cinderella. Those words on the home page are going to be words that your students can use everywhere, and so can you. So lean into that home page because it's really accessible. Take it one word at a time. You do not need to say, do you want to go to the pool? You can just say, do you want to go to the pool? Go. You can say a whole mouth word phrase and just model one word. I give you permission. If you've got a AAC user who's using a lot of words and big phrases, that's when we start working on grammar. That's when we start working on sentence structure. If you have the capacity in that moment to model a longer utterance, go ahead and do it. But don't stop modeling because you're like, this is too hard. I can't find my words. Don't stop there. And the last piece here of make comments and avoid questions. First person, think of what you would say or what the kid would say. I want, I like, I think. Come from a first person perspective instead of what do you want, what do you like, what do you think. Come from your own perspective. So we're going to get a chance to practice, but I want everybody to have access to some sort of AAC. I see Hadia has a big device behind her, but take some screenshots. Many of you have like a print screen. If you've got a bigger keyboard, if you don't know how to take a screenshot and you're on like a Chromebook, ask Google, how do I take a screenshot? What's on a Chromebook? If you're on a PC, how do I take a screenshot on a PC? But there's a print screen button on many of your keyboards above the arrows and like the insert delete block on the right top. You could also just have this page of the presentation opened on your, you could even, which would be an easy thing to do, you can take a picture with your phone. Hold your phone up, take a picture of the screen, then you got a little, Lydia's like, I could do that. That's the way to go. Take a quick little picture for yourself. The reason I'm having you take a picture of these is because I have pulled out some home pages. Remember I said lean into the home page? This is like the home page is like the front cover of the AAC device. It's the page you're always looking at. And then if you dig into the chapters, like the food chapter or the people chapter or the feelings chapter, when you push home, the book closes and you go back to the home page. This is your landing page, and it's the juiciest, best of them all. I think everybody's probably got one, and LAMP is just going to send everybody in a tailspin. So, does anybody not have a screenshot? It's good to go. Okay. Modeling is the most important method of teaching AAC. I have a lot of speech therapists who are like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything because I'm just modeling. That's fine. I promise you, if you model more and worry less, you'll see better results. Just keep modeling. Just keep modeling, 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 modeling. So we're going to practice before we get real practicey really quick. I just want to give you guys permission to say a whole phrase with your mouth and just touch one word on AAC. So I'm going to model for you here. Oops, I'm putting in the wrong passcode. So here I have my device. So I'm going to use my mouth words and my AAC words. I'm going to say the phrase out loud, and then I'm going to touch the bolded word on AAC. For example, I like that.
Like.
I play at recess.
Play.
Let's go to lunch.
Go.
I'm finished with my stack.
Finish.
It's mine. I don't want to work.
Go. Want.
I want more. Let's go to the bathroom.
Go.
So I just want to have you give it your own shot. Out loud, say the whole phrase, and then just touch the word on your home screen of your picture. But really, the function of that was just giving you permission to say a whole phrase with your mouth and just touch one or two words on AAC. If you could hear on mine too, I just want you to know, like it says, I play at recess instead of played. The grammar, I don't care about the grammar. I don't care. I didn't have mine on my homepage, but I had I modeled that. I don't like the grammar is not important. The communication and connection is important. I didn't have not on my homepage, so I pushed no want. That's great. So now we're gonna try this, and this is where I promise I would make it easy for you. This is the easy part. So I'm gonna model this for you. I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1, go countdown, and you will touch any word on your homepage. And I'm going to try to model it so you can see that I am not really looking. So 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. I wasn't looking. I was just touching any word on the homepage. If you touched a button and it took you to a different page, just keep tapping until it voices out. That's your job. So you just practice right now. 3, 2, 1, go. And see where your finger, because you're not going to have, unless you have an AAC in front of you, you're not going to have that voice output. So notice where your finger lands. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice, Lydia. 3, 2, 1, go. So no cognitive processing here, just a reach and touch. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. That's the goal. After the word speaks out on the AAC, you're going to use your mouth words to connect it to what's going on. Just like if a toddler was like, up-a-tip-a-tap-a-ta, and you're like, wow, it is really hot outside. You make it make sense. You're going to do the same thing for yourself, and I'm going to show you how. 3, 2, 1, go. I am thirsty. I'm going to take a drink. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to put this information into your heads. 3, 2, 1, go. I hope that you don't go back and take those devices away anymore. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm finished with the examples. So I didn't look. I just pushed a button and then I made it made sense. I just filled in the blanks. There's lots of ways to model, but I'm trying to get y'all feeling comfortable with doing it without overthinking it, without spending so much time looking for words and getting frustrated and abandoning ship. So we're going to practice one more time. Just 3, 2, 1, go yourself. 3, 2, 1, touch. And then see where your finger lands on it. Looking here. I'm going to model. 3, 2, 1, go. Don't drink the beans. 3, 2, 1, go. Ew, you smell like milk. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm hungry. Let's eat lunch. 3, 2, 1, go. Is that the only scooper you have? So yourself, 3, 2, 1, go. Touch one. Make the word make sense with your mouth. In real life, your students are going to have their AAC devices out and you can reach over to theirs and touch it. Let's go get some bigger scoopers. For a challenge, I want you to look at this guy right here. And I want you to come from his perspective. 3, 2, 1, go. After we're done doing this, you want to go for a walk with me? 3, 2, 1, go. Can you help me fill this thing? You're just giving them words. Here's a new scene. 3, 2, 1, go. You filled that whole bucket yourself? 3, 2, 1, go. All of these cans are open and smell. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, two, one, go. Come from this guy's perspective, way over here on the right. 3, 2, 1, go. What's he saying? Is this one ready to go over there? Remembering, we're modeling without expectations. We're not expecting them to do anything back. If they do, we're stoked. We want to lean into that homepage. Don't worry about going on a goose hunt. If you want to go on a goose hunt, go on one. But like, I'm giving you permission to not. Take it one word at a time. If you're just modeling one word, that's great. I think about my friends who speak. I have lots of friends who live in France. Hi, French friends. And if I speak one word to them in French, they're excited that I'm putting in effort for French. They're not like, Cassie, please wait to speak to us when you are fluent in French. Um, Similarly, if our AAC users know more words than us, that's okay. They're still going to be excited if we're using any AAC with them. And then also make comments and avoid questions. Come from their perspective, come from a first person perspective, come from your perspective. New scene, 3, 2, 1, go. That's where my finger likes to go. I have a student actually who really, that's where she goes every time, even if she's not too thirsty. Can we finish this and get a drink of water? 3, 2, 1, go. I like your red pants, teacher. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, two, one, go. Challenge. Look at this dude. Come from his perspective. 3, 2, 1, go. Can somebody help me move closer to the front tomorrow? Challenge. If you took screenshots of both of those, flip to the other one. Use a different homepage. Three, two, one, go. I'll change mine too, so you can have a accurate model. Three, two, one, go.
Think.
I think I know the answer. 3, 2, 1, go.
Coming.
Is lunch coming soon? Here's a new scene. 3, 2, 1, go. Do you see how brown those eggs are? 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes.
This is my favorite field trip. New scene. 3, 2, 1, go.
That.
That one's too hard for me. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Are you going to tell me the answer again? 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, this one's too easy. New scene. 3, 2, 1, go. Do you want to trade your ranch for my Thousand Island? 3, 2, 1, go.
These.
These are weird salads. 3, 2, 1, go. I have an extra big piece of cornbread. New scene. 3, 2, 1, go.
Come.
Come over here and look at this beetle. 3, 2, 1, go. I want to dig more holes. Okay, so my point here is that it is possible to quickly model a meaningful word or words without having to use a lot of cognitive load, even when you have 5 different students with 5 different AAC devices. You can be working with a group, sitting down, walking around, however that looks, wherever you are and what activity you are, and you can offer models on different people's devices or on your modeling device, whether it's a piece of paper, kind of like you're doing right now, or a live voice output device, and you can provide meaningful aided language models wherever they are, regardless of what system that they're using, and it will be powerful. Questions, comments, concerns? So we'll find an interested paraprofessional and we want to teach them how to support our AAC users. If you don't feel like you have the skills or capacity or language to teach them, Becky and I have created this AAC 5-minute university. So teach your paraprofessionals about AAC. If we go to that website that I have shared with you, new to AAC, there's the AAC 5-minute university. All of these videos are less than 5 minutes long. Some of them are most of them are about 3 minutes long. I'm going to put the link into the chat for you. They are linked to a Google sheet, like a Google form, that just helps me keep track of who's watching them, so I know like which ones people need more support with on where people's interest it is. So that's a great one and you can send this to parents too. I gear my parents over here if somebody doesn't know what AAC is. Show them in class how to model using that 3-2-1 method. Again, 5-minute university, modeling in 3-2-1. If you go in here, there's that little video. Let's see how long, it's 3.
Hello and welcome to
This one is
AAC
4
5 Minute
minutes.
University.
So it just gives how to do that in a very snippet way and empower your paras to take that on. You can also, I encourage all of the team to be on the editing side of things because the more customizations we can do, the better. But there's also some things that we want to take care of with editing. And this like 3-minute video on editing with intention will give yourself, your paras, your parents, the tools to know how to edit without messing the system up or the way that it was designed. And then also ask for para volunteers as an SLP, as a teacher, whatever role you play, and see that interest and say, hey, you're really good at this. Like, would you be my AAC lead in this classroom and then like encourage other paras to model and like, play that role? Because if we can have somebody in the classroom that feels really empowered and is modeling freely to other paras throughout the day, we have won. So, um, definitely enlist a paraprofessional. We want to focus on teaching and not testing our AAC users. Data is important, but don't forget to teach the skill. We teach AAC by making sure the student is regulated first. We can't easily think or learn when we're dysregulated. So, um, whatever that student needs to help so you can help them co-regulate. That's going to be the first thing. Model, 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 give them those words to use. Be silly, have fun. If you use their words to communicate, like, ew, you stink, like they're going to be way more interested in using the communication device that if you're like, say please and thank you, like those are adult words. And granted, we want them to learn those adult words, but like closer to like adulthood and like closer to when their language is adult. So right now, using that kind of fun, silly language is going to help them buy in. We want to give them adequate wait time. Processing new information is difficult for all people. It takes time to go in, it takes time to make a plan and come back out. For our neurodivergent kiddos with maybe cognitive disabilities as well, they need more processing time. So instead of jumping in there and showing them how to do it or putting your hand on them and move, like give them some space and time. If you need to, like count to 20 in your head, count to 15 in your head, but give them some time. Um, Offer them some prompts. I do have this really delightful video on prompting, but I'm not going to show it because it's a little bit too long for the last couple of minutes here, but it's here. Using cues and prompts with AAC. It just shows that like hand over hand, that's my biggest takeaway. No hand over hand. Hand over hand, not teaching anything. Um, Modeling, I would rather have you model forever and never touch them hand over hand. It's not actually teaching the skill that you're hoping to teach. It's teaching learned helplessness. But you can watch that video if you want to learn more and respond to their communication when they're making vocalizations, when they're using their AAC, when they're stomping their feet. Listen to them and respond. Ooh, you look mad. You're stomping your feet. Um, like, oh, you said help. What do you need help with? Respond to them. That's how we can teach them AAC, is to show them that their communication matters regardless of what form it takes. Versus how do we test AAC? This is not instructions on how to do an assessment, but I'm just making the comparison between testing and teaching AAC. We want to teach it. If you are going to be testing it, focus on one goal at a time. Look at that IEP for those goals. Observe them. If you're going to test, you can sit back, have that trained para helper working with them as their communication partner while you sit back and take data. If you're taking data, take it on a schedule. You don't need to take it all the time. If you're taking it all the time, you are not teaching, you are just testing. Do like quality teaching, intervention, therapy, like whatever your school of practice is, like you're going to engage in like the giving before you're asking for data. If you click on this little link here, it takes you on different ways to data. And then for AAC, you're going to take data on the words and messages used, the prompts required for success, the functions of their communication, and their operational skills, how they're actually able to operate and navigate the device. And I do have in here a little some data sheets for you, or all my other, that one did work. Yay. I have data sheets in here for you. For example, prompting. What kind of prompting did they need? Did they meet the target or not? What other words and messages did they use? You can just jot them in there. What functions of communication did they use? Did they make comments? Did they protest? Other methods of communication. Did they cry? Did they lead you by the hand? Did they stare at something? What worked, what didn't? And ideas for your next observation or teaching session. So just know the difference between testing and teaching. And most of what we want to be doing, we should be heavy on the teaching. Just exposure, showing them, helping them learn. And lastly, here in my last 3 minutes, establishing to make a good plan for yourself, establish a charging routine. Parent communication, you can be very explicit. If your kid, which they hopefully should be taking their high-tech device home, if they're taking it home, explicitly communicate with the parent that there is an expectation that that thing comes out of their backpack and gets charged overnight. If it's going home, it needs to come back charged. Provide them with some sort of cue or reminder, which I'll show you in a moment. And if it comes to school dead 3 times, discuss keeping it at school and sending a light tech backup home until we can revisit that. That is okay. We want the kids to like very genuinely want them to have it at school and at home. But if it's dead at school, we're not doing. It's not the tool it needs to be. This is this is the little visual I have for y'all. Like I have as far as like created a little basket, put a little washcloth over it with like a little dog toy. Like you can have the parents tell their kids to like tuck it in to go to bed and charge it as part of the parent working with the student on the charging routine, like make it part of their night routine, tucking the AAC in. And I do have, sorry, it's right back there. This is also linked here under parents and family, the print, the Goodnight AAC. You can show that to them. You can click on it and print it and give it to them. But that's just, a cute little visual that can go along with it. If you're interested, I tried to give you resources for everything I recommended. Teach the students to charge it at school. It's an operation, it's a life skill that they need to have for their AAC system, is either to be able to actually charge it themselves or request that it be charged. Some people don't have the fine motor skills to charge it, and like we're not gonna we want to increase those fine motor skills, but like some people with cerebral palsy, like that's not like they can't move their arms at all. Some of them, like we're not gonna be like, you need to charge that yourself. But like having a button in their device that says charge my device, like that is a skill. Even how to check the battery life, which all of them have different ways to do it. Some of them you can even check within the app. The last little piece here in my last minute is don't lose the device customizations. Create a backup schedule you can back up all of the devices. So all of the different customizations that you can do, you can save it just like you save a file, but they don't save automatically unless you're using Proloquo to go. The other apps aren't there yet, which is silly. But on the website, there is in the resources by app, if you go into the app that you're using, I have put in how to back it up with all of the different apps. So speech therapists, I would love it for you that to be a task that you take on like as a scheduled task. Teaching your teachers how to do it too is great, but have that just be like as part of on the last day of the month, like we're backing up the student devices. That's a great way to do that. That way we don't lose all the customizations if like the device goes in a lake. Okay, I ended on time. Look at me. I'll be around though, and I'm going to stop my recording. Thank you everybody for your attention.